and I feel as though I have mentioned this, but I think so far in my 34 years of life, I would say the hardest point that I would say there's 2 points.
You bring in lots of other guests to kind of shield yourself from talking about the things that you're bothered about, but we never really get under the surface of Matt.
And I keep that bottled up, and then that basically just bottles and bottles and bottles until one night I basically, I don't know, Emma asked me in just the right way, and I might like explode in a sort of rampage of tears.
I lost my friend multiple times, and then and a lot of that was my fault. And I think I always look back on that and think how much I regret not making more time to hang out with him.
Audience, if you're struggling...
Hello, my name is Matteo, and today I've lost a lot of weight to come on the podcast and tell you all about mental health. Mental health is a thing that people have. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. And now we're going to talk about mental health for a whole hour, probably. Maybe less than an hour. We're going to see how much we can think of because our guest cancelled on us. Good luck to me, good luck to you, and good luck to Matteo, who feels very nervous about the fact that today I'm in charge. Roll title.
I don't know. I reckon mine's better.
You would have done that 3 times. You would have done that 3 times.
Because it would have been polished and immaculate.
You wouldn't have blinked.
I wouldn't have blinked.
You would have
He
pursed
wouldn't
your
have blinked.
lips.
He's like a lizard. Look, we've got apple juice today.
Very rotten apple juice. Delicious.
Anyway, let's talk about mental health. Matt, how is your mental health?
It's fine, Robert. How is yours?
That's a bullshit answer.
You got to work harder than
Why
that.
does this feel like
You
it's-
got to work harder than that.
Why does it feel like it's an
The
intervention?
seats are facing you, my
I
guy.
know. It honestly
Yeah.
feels like a Netflix documentary about my life.
Yeah.
It could be.
Well, no, we've got to be serious here because.
Why
look-
don't you go through his internet history?
Oh, okay.
And audit him.
I've
swear to God.
got his computer.
Yeah, we've got his
I
computer.
got his computer. I had multiple options for that introduction, and none of them were very good. So we're winging it. But anyway, Matteo, so when was it that you realized that you were ultimately a failure in your life and that you didn't know where you were going?
Probably when I agreed to this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably it.
It's your show, bro.
Yeah. Doesn't feel like it right now.
No, we need to talk about some
Yeah,
proper
I know.
stuff. Though we need to talk about some proper stuff. Let's do the how are you. We try
Yeah.
how are you? How are you really?
Okay. How am I? I'm good. A lot of stuff going on. Changing jobs. You heard it here first.
You allowed to say that, yeah?
Yeah, you like to say
I
that?
think so. I've told people and signed contracts.
Cut that.
By the time this
Cut that.
by the time this airs, I think yeah, I might be,
You might have just delayed your post time on that one.
alas.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that there's a big event that's happening for the company that I work for.
Oh, I thought you
Oh,
were,
I thought you were talking
your
about
wedding.
your wedding.
Well, a sequential order here.
That comes second.
That- yeah.
yeah.
And then the wedding, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's busy times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
we do this a lot, right? We sit down, we talk about other people. You bring in lots of other guests to kind of shield yourself from talking about the things that you're bothered about. But we never really get under the surface of Matt, you know? And this is
So this is the way we're going with
this
this
is a
one, aren't we?
real
This is-
opportunity for
is
us
like
to
an-
get under the surface of Matt.
This is like an intervention, isn't it?
I'm on board.
You're on board with
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Fire away then.
So let's start from the beginning.
Uh-huh.
Where were you born? And
Why
how did that
is
make,
Matt?
and how did that make you feel?
Is this actually the way we're going?
Yeah, we're going this
You
way.
can
We-
skip the origin story
Yeah.
maybe and
I
get to
know.
the
I feel like
good
you guys
stuff.
should know this as my friends. You actually want me to go into the beginning?
Well, no, not really. I kind of asked it for fun, but okay, fine. Let's do a serious one. Let's do a serious one. When was the hardest time in your life?
I swear we've unpacked this already.
We haven't unpacked this already.
You didn't really unpack. You've mentioned it, but I've actually never really heard you talk about it.
Have you not?
No.
Because we're coming to you next for your hard time as well.
Next episode.
And you.
I'll do it now. You want me to start talking now?
I mean, I can't deflect just yet, but let me go first. And I feel as though I have mentioned this, but I think so far in my 34 years of life, I would say the hardest point that I would say there's 2 points. First one was probably 2017. And that is when my dad got diagnosed with cancer, stage 4 cancer. My grandmother passed away, who I was very close with. And my family pet passed away, 16 years old.
Not a great trilogy.
Not a great trilogy. So that was a pretty shit year. And then fast forward 2025? And the next one's probably when my dad died. And the traumatic process in which my dad died.
Okay.
So I'd probably say those 2 are the worst points in my life so far.
So I've known you all the way through both of those events, from before those events happened, and I hardly know anything about what happened.
Me too.
I mean, you guys know about my dad. That was probably...
We know it
Yeah,
happened.
but we don't know
about
about we don't know about the whole, what's really happening inside you,
Yeah.
which is kind of the point of the podcast,
Yeah.
right?
This is what I want to explore.
This is what
When
we've been
I'm
dying
in
to
charge.
do this entire time.
Yeah.
And I think, if you're not comfortable sharing it, you don't need to. But
I got to practice what I preach, right? No,
Yeah.
I'm happy. Like it's I don't know. I saw a clip the other day, and it was like when someone loses a parent, and I'm paraphrasing here, but basically he said it was like a therapist. When someone loses a parent, they never, like something changes in them, like in their something changes in them, right, mentally, and they're never quite the same person. That could be a parent, could be a loved one, could be a grandparent, whatever it is, right? And I do subscribe to that. My way of thinking has fundamentally changed since my dad died. I'm not necessarily afraid of death anymore. I want to consciously choose things that I want to consciously like choose life. I always say that, like
100%.
activities that make me happy and bring joy to my life. I want to surround myself with people, and right now I'm questioning that, but surround myself with people who, I think one of our previous guests said, bring me forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Those are all great buzzwords and great things to say. But how do you subscribe to that it actually changed you? Because I can't necessarily see any significant surface level changes, but how do you describe the change that happened when your dad died?
I think you're a lot more conscious of like mortality. You think of your parents as these like kind of immortal people that will always be there for the rest of your life, and then they're just gone 1 second.
So it's like a reality check.
It's a reality check, and you don't take things for granted. You appreciate the situations that you're in, the people that you're with, because it's like, I'm gonna die one day, and it's like no one's gonna care about that deck that I created or that like time I was in the office. And like there's another clip that I watched where this guy asked this person on his deathbed, like,
How
what
proud are you of your slideshows?
yeah, no, it's like, the last thing you think of when you're on your deathbed is like, I'm glad I made it to the office at 9 a.m. every single day.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, that kind of stuff. And it's just making me conscious of my mortality. Like,
Okay.
I do think that work piece comes to basically everyone at some point in their life, usually after retirement.
Yeah.
It hits home so hard. Like, oh, I'm like over 65 years old. I think that's always going up every year. And
Okay.
they've basically realized that they've spent 60% of their life chasing money when money's actually really just golden handcuffs to keep you there.
and it's so shit because you retire in theory to enjoy life.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're too old. You're like hardly mobile, depending if you look after yourself. Yes, you have money, but you can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So going back to that question then, when you're on your deathbed,
Yeah.
what are the things that you're going to think about?
This podcast, 100%.
I
No.
feel that's a genuine answer,
No,
but,
it's-
but
I mean-
there's something else as well. There's got to be, what do you think? Oh, I'm glad I did that. That is the thing that you might not have done it yet, by the way. But what's the thing that you when you're on your deathbed, or maybe it's an untimely death, you're sitting there and all of a sudden your life just stops. You've got an hour until the end of the day. What are the things that you think about? I guess it's my question, because I know it's not, for me, it's not going to be necessarily the working day, but it's definitely the things that I've done. Like I look at the job that I do and I think, yeah, the outcomes of the things that I did, very, very glad I did. But the day-to-day stuff, getting up at 9 a.m., getting in for 9 a.m. every morning, that sort of thing is less important. But you kind of have to do those things in order to achieve the big things, right?
Sure. What would I be?
I don't know what the question was in that.
Yeah.
Well, no, the question is still the
question.
same
He
thing.
kind of
It's still,
answered it
it's still
himself.
the,
didn't he?
because I was trying to give you an idea. I was trying to give you an example. But you know what I mean?
Once again, it's about Robert.
like,
I have experienced that.
Can I run the podcast today?
what do you want? What do you want from me? Look, what do you think about when you're reminiscing over your life? What are the things that you think will be important to yourself?
I think a big thing for me would be just be traveling, experiencing the world. And just like, I hate saying this because it sounds so cliche, but just like spreading love, joy, and happiness, you know?
I'm kind of on that bandwidth right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just don't be a dick. It's always been my philosophy. Just be a nice person. Like, it's so many dicks out there that are so far up their own asses. So just don't.
You're
just,
at
No.
risk of quoting Team America, I think. But
fine, they're onto something. Like, just don't be a dick. Like I've always said, like, treat people with respect. Like, treat people the way you want to be treated. Like, it's not any ideological philosophy, like, you know, karma, you know, whatever it is. It's just like, it's quite simple. Just treat people how you would like to be treated. And like, especially when you live in London where it's so complex, everyone's like out for themselves. It's a rat race. Like, nobody, you know, if you can't talk to people without
London's
coming
like
across
the
as a creep.
opposite of that philosophy
I
for
know.
sure. No one says good morning.
No.
Everyone is thinking about success, legacy,
I
Yeah.
don't think
and not
that's,
just thinking about.
I think that's fully true. I think that
But it's-
people in their personal lives, they probably are like that.
Mm.
But the situation that you live in, and I expect it's probably the same for a lot of cities all over the place, is when you're in that situation where you're against time pressure, you've got to be somewhere, you've got to do things, then your kind of general manners and being a good person falls by the wayside, and you sort of become a little bit more difficult than you otherwise would be.
I think there's always room to be kind.
Okay. Good for you. Well, but you're saying
You really
saying
looked
that
into my eyes
you're
there.
saying that-
That was quite a moment.
Yeah,
you
it
guys
was a
had.
moment.
are you saying
I
that
felt
when you
like soul.
when you get on, for example, a bus or the tube or
Oh yeah, I don't
something,
practice what I preach.
Yeah,
But
okay,
inside,
fine.
I would like to act like that.
Right. Okay.
And
so there's the
I'm trying. I actually am trying to be more like that.
so but this is what I mean, is there's what you are and there's what you try to be, and those two things don't necessarily always align. Is you kind of fall somewhere in between, where sometimes you do nice things for people in your own time when you've got time, and other times you don't. Mad.
Question or
Again, there's no
statement?
question. You
Great
Matt
job,
asks questions.
I know,
well, you
yeah.
know, Matt asks questions. I'll ask questions. All right, fine. What question you want?
Well, no. What's your
That's a good one.
when you're sitting on your deathbed, man,
Yeah, what are you thinking about?
I think.
shredding some gnarly
Uh,
waves?
Well, you've mentioned a couple times in the podcast where, you're out of uni, you're excited, you're drinking, you're handsome, you're ripped, and
I didn't say that.
you did say that.
I didn't say.
Well, I saw that in you,
Okay.
and you finish uni, you're excited to get a job, you jump into a job, maybe, it doesn't, it could be any sort of job. I think we just got graduate jobs within London, which was extremely exciting for probably all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Have like an insane amount of fun in your head. You're thinking, I'm going to climb the career ladder, do everything right. And then
Life hits you.
life kind of hits you.
Hard.
And I think you've mentioned it a couple times where you've sort of almost given up on that, is the vibe I'm
Don't give
getting.
up.
Yeah,
Where
don't give up on
well,
life,
you're saying that
Robert.
all you want now is to basically like not really work that hard and just have a happy life, as long as
No,
you get to
I don't think that's.
wakeboard and do the things you love, like your non-negotiables.
So I have a friend who says the same thing, and we came up with an idea and theory. And the ant theory is basically where you're just happy to just coast and just like not necessarily excel or like achieve greatness or whatever it is. But basically just your happiness comes from just peace, right? Just being like, you know, going through the motions, like, you know, going to work, doing what you have to do, you know, like, and that's absolutely fine.
Yeah. It's the same as the wheat and chaff theory, wheat and
here
chaff
we
idea,
go.
isn't it? It's the kind of, you come out of university and you're wheat, you're top of you want to be the best possible thing that you can possibly be. You make bread out of wheat, you can do whatever you want with wheat, but after a certain amount of time, you kind of
Bread gets moldy.
fail and you turn to chaff, and you kind of don't really work that hard anymore. But I think I've heard that from enough people that it's starting to reign true. And I think that a lot of the time, especially in London and big cities and big stressful jobs, it tends to be a lot more of it is burnout than I think people give credit to.
100%.
So I've
yeah.
been through the stage of kind of being absolutely stressed out of my mind. And I think at that point you kind of go, why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? But then it sort of comes back again and you go, well, okay, it sucked at the time, but now I'm back to being ambitious again. But you don't always kind of come all the way back to that. You come back a little bit lower each time, or you kind of go up and down throughout your career.
Do you think there's like I know it's not my episode, but I'm going to ask a question. Do you think there's an expectation? Is that right?
I ask questions.
You can say no.
You can say no. You're in the hot seat. Do you think like there's still an expectation? Do you think that sort of the traditional expectation of men being the breadwinner, right? Does that feed into this kind of expectation on men to succeed? Are the two correlated?
It does for me.
I think men are also naturally competitive with
Yeah.
each other, massively.
I
So I feel like we are very subjective to comparing yourself to your peers,
think
which
that
is never healthy.
probably occurs on both sides, but I think we're definitely more positioned to kind of think, and I'm guilty of this as well, to think I am a man, therefore I need to earn more money, I need to bring in money, support a family, all that sort of thing. And I don't know if that's a natural thing or if it's a societal thing, but it's definitely how I feel.
Well, if you had a breadwinner girlfriend, would that bother you, or would you sort of be quite happy?
Well, it might bother my wife.
Oh,
but
Oh, God.
took like a good 2 seconds of lag there to like connect there.
but no, you I don't know. I think if my wife was earning more money than me, and it was
You'd
kind
hate
of
it.
well,
You would hate it of all people.
I think
How would you look her in the eye at
on
night?
the surface, I'd kind of act a lot more comfortable with it. If I'm being completely honest, I'd act a lot more comfortable with it than I probably was inside. Because I'm very competitive. I want to be
That's what I was talking
successful.
about. There you go.
even against your wife.
but in the same way as
Do you want to be successful? I feel like every episode you say you're quite happy not, and you've sort of given
I
up
don't
that
say
dream.
that I don't say that at all. I don't think that's true at all. I like the
Such
idea
a
of
nerd
kind of
there.
Might
doing
have to go
less,
back.
but I'm not saying I don't put in effort.
I wasn't saying that either.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
But like you'd be more competitive than your wife.
Well, I'd be more competitive than my wife. I'd be more competitive than you guys. I'd be more competitive than everybody else. But I think there's a certain point where
Is that
that
healthy?
line is drawn, right? So we've got friends that are way, way, way above us. And you kind of we've got friend.
We have
that is
friend.
way,
Hey,
way,
friend.
way, 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 way above us. And you
Shout out to
kind of
friend.
you looking at him and being like, well, you know, I'm never going to reach that level. The competition sort of drops away. But if you're at the same level and you're kind of doing the same level of thing, like if my partner were to earn a ridiculous amount of money to the extent that I would never ever be able to match it, I'm 100% supportive of it. But I think there's definitely a competitive edge when you're at about the same level. I don't know. You guys not feel the same way? Do you not feel
I could
competitive
be
about
a
it?
house husband, no problem.
I would be a foot massager all day long.
100%.
100%.
The best.
Good for
I
you guys.
make a really good pesto pasta.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I can fluff a
So,
damn good pillow.
From the jar.
Yeah.
So if your significant other was to earn a ridiculous amount of money, would you just give up your career and not do anything else?
No,
No.
you could put all of that effort that's going towards your career into a passion project. Correct. Such as this. I also have one of my own.
He's
What
not
is
allowed
that,
to
Ben?
not allowed to plug it.
That I
not
will
allowed to
shout
plug
out at the end.
Well, the rate is going. He might be sponsoring us.
He
So.
might be.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why sort of this conversation, I guess, came up is that I totally agree that being in London, I'm assuming a lot of listeners are probably in London, similar to us.
Maybe.
You know, we're working hard, we're chasing that paycheck, but that doesn't leave a lot of room for maybe hanging out with your friends as much, maybe doing hobbies that you just really genuinely love and feed the soul. And it's kind of like that third space. I mean, they've named their gym extremely well. I think like traditionally there was sort of three spaces. It was like your home, which basically was you in your house and your relationship. And then you'd have your work, which would be obviously your work environment, your colleagues, how people treat you at work. And then you need to have a third space.
Is that actually why they call it that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because
It all makes sense.
Yeah,
now.
I know.
But I think that's probably a fabrication, because I don't class a gym as a third space. I think you've
Yeah,
got
I mean,
the
look
two
at you.
spaces. I think you've got the home and you've got the work and you've got, because those are your two personalities, right? You're a completely different person when you're at work to when you're at home.
Not at all.
I am. And Lily actually, well, my partner actually gives me grief about that because she's like, you are a completely different person.
My boss gives me grief about it, not me.
Well, there you go.
You're not professional enough at.
I'm just myself. I can't really put on a mask, to be honest.
So I think if you ask people that you work with versus your partner, whoever, your friends,
Yeah.
what they think you're like,
You're so different.
then the answer is completely different.
Completely.
But that's what interests me is you know, when you're talking to people.
How have you not been fired yet?
I honestly ask myself that every day. I've come close a couple times, but
it's
sticking in
also
there.
it's also kind of part of what we're doing here, right? Is those two things are so disconnected, and then also the kind of what you keep inside and the feeling of the things that you think about when you go to sleep at night, or the things that you're worried about day to day. Those things you kind of bottle up in your head, and then one day all of a sudden there's that kind of story about the guy who he seems really cheerful, and then one day he just disappears because he's gone and done something stupid.
Oh yeah, it's all those like, I don't know why I'm getting these now, but like all these suicide videos, like anti-suicide.
Why
videos.
do you think you're getting these videos?
No, but it's like always like it's exactly that. It's always like, you know, these two characters. One of them's like very quiet and pensive, and the other one's like all bubbly, and you know, and then it's like, I don't know, some situations happen, and then suddenly the bubbly one is not there, and it's like,
yeah, the one that's offering support is the
Yeah.
one that actually is not there.
yeah, it's always like checking on your friends.
Takes a burden. Yeah.
okay.
Um,
So can we do a game?
can I clarify my point first? Because I think
Which
you actually
point?
interrupted me halfway through.
Sorry.
Audience, if you're struggling, you've got to look at your day-to-day life cycle, what you're doing. I don't know which camera I'm looking at.
We don't
If
know
you're
that.
going to work every day and then going home and just watching TV until you go to sleep again, rinse and repeat, that leaves no room to be happy and to do your passion projects and to feed the soul. You need that third space. And that third space is not the gym. It doesn't need to be. It could be actual gym third space. But from personal experience, I would definitely recommend just finding something that you love, finding time to do it, a non-negotiable.
That's it.
Shout
I was
out
about to
from
say, yeah.
last time, and make sure you're doing that almost daily. A bit of time for you.
Why,
You
why-
don't need to do it with your partner either, just you. I mean,
Do you want to do the intro?
That's
What?
basically
What?
it.
But in all seriousness, note, why do you say that?
the third space thing.
Yeah.
Because I think living in London and the lifestyle of it, I think you can get in quite, especially in winter as well. I definitely suffer from a bit of seasonal depression. But in winter, when the sun's not out, you do generally just go to work, and then you come home, and then you watch TV
But do you
with
have
your
a,
girlfriend, and you'll shove some dinner down, and then you'll go to bed. And I think over time that really
Mhm.
sort of deteriorates your sense of self even, and definitely your happiness.
But do you have an example
He gave like many there.
Yeah, you gave a lot of but a specific example
To
of
myself.
you, as in your life where you found that you weren't getting enough of that time, and that's the thing that helped.
All the time. I will go into it.
All
I'll
the
set
time.
the example, but I do have a tendency to fall into those unhealthy routines. I went into one recently where like I got a spot of bad news, and generally I wasn't like leaving the house as much. I did not have that third space being enacted within my day, and I made a real effort to try to do so. By joining like a dodgeball league would be one example. Which was a lot of fun, and over like a week or 2 weeks, I was instantly feeling better.
But what was the bad? You don't have to go into specifics, but what was the bad news? Or what was the manner of the bad news?
Just big disappointment that I can't go
like
into.
Like a job, or like a
not going to go into it.
Right. Okay. Good. But
maybe at some point I will.
But it's
classified.
It's the feeling of sort of, because there was a hole somewhere else, you plugged it with doing an activity.
I think there's always a space for you to do things that you love within your week, and if sitting on the couch watching TV gives you that really cheap, easy dopamine, over time that is gonna sort of wear you down. Or if you're also filling that with just work, then that's also gonna wear you down. I'm saying you need to make time for those things.
Non-negotiables.
The non-negotiables. Yeah.
It's very preachy.
It is preachy, but I've heard it a bunch of times, and I have done it myself, and it really works. Yeah. I don't want to sound like I'm telling people what to do, but it 100% works.
But you gotta find satisfaction, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry, I've been talking a long time. You go for it.
I don't know if that's, I don't know if it's the same for everybody. I know a lot of people that will, they'll have bad news. Someone's lost a family member, someone's lost a friend or something, and they throw themselves into work, and it works. If you're satisfied with it, then it works.
Yeah.
I don't know, when you had your low moments, what did you do? How did you feel it?
Exercise. For me, that's my non-negotiable. It sounds very like meatheadish to say, but like, if I don't exercise, I'm a different person. Like even on a daily basis, right? Like I just get agitated. I just feel like the Michelin Man, just so fat. More rolls.
You're sitting at the side of the bed, God.
Yeah.
Feels like that's.
It's like that reel I sent you, that really fat guy sitting on the toilet, and just like the camera pans around.
Baron Harkonnen.
Yeah. That's what I feel like when I'm at work. Just people walking past, it's like this really fat dude. No, but like when my dad was in hospital and that whole process, like we'd spend the whole day with him in the hospital, and the ward wouldn't open until 9 a.m. But I'd make a point, 7 a.m. class. I'm finding the hardest class, killing myself. It's probably not healthy, but like physically exerting myself and then going to see my dad. Because I knew that if I didn't at least do that exercise and then have to deal with that, I would have blown up.
Yeah, and you're not going to do exercise after.
You're not going to do it
as well. There's no way.
That.
So you go to bed just feeling like crap.
Yeah.
The whole time.
So that was my non-negotiable.
That's like a chemical reaction as well, isn't it? Like it just does 100% work.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but there's chemical. But what did you physically feel when you kind of went in and exercised? What was different about?
Well, there's obviously the dopamine. We spoke about it in the last episode, right? The dopamine, yeah. Like, there's an element of dopamine when you exercise. Like when you go for a run, it
reduces cortisol as well. Like your stress.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like there's a chemical reaction when you exercise. So I think I'm just hooked genuinely on that chemical reaction.
That is fine to say. I think chemical reaction is a thing. But what do you actually feel when you finish? Do you feel satisfaction? You feel comfort? You feel
all of the above.
You feel all of your aggression drains away.
I feel clear-minded, satisfaction, less aggressive, like just more at peace with myself as well.
And is it different to if you were to sit and kind of, I don't know, you said you tried meditating and speaking the, is it a different feeling or a different sensation?
Different kind of feeling. I think meditation it clears your mind, right? You make sense of your thoughts and all that, and you process your thoughts. And I don't know, with exercise, it's different. I don't think the two are necessarily the same, but some do argue that exercise is a form of meditation, and maybe it is, but like, no, I wouldn't like substitute one for the other. Yeah, exactly.
You can't.
I
say
can't
that.
say that, but I wanted
Can't say
to. I wanted to. I feel like we're getting pretty serious.
We are getting serious. That's
Okay.
the point.
All right. Let's keep going. That's my coping mechanism. Kicking in.
Yeah, I don't actually remember what the question was.
Well,
But no, like I wouldn't substitute one for the other.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's ideally I do both. And like at the beginning of the year, New Year's resolutions, I started doing like exercise, and then I did 10-minute meditation before work. But then obviously life happens and you get busy, and then you got to be on a 9 a.m. call, so you haven't got time to like do the meditation before work, and it's like, and then that slips.
What does the meditation look like? Is that
Just 10 minutes,
just
it's,
sitting down,
yeah, with the headphones on, like the
feet on top of your thighs?
feet on top of your thumb.
he means
Like cross-legged.
like a monk.
No, I'm not agile enough for that.
And just like nothing, eyes closed,
Eyes closed,
deep in thought.
hands on laps,
But
headphones, the Calm
this is
app,
what blew my
guided
mind.
meditation.
Yeah, what blew my mind is that meditation doesn't need to be literally sitting there and kind of crossing your legs and humming and all that sort of thing. You're literally just sitting there quietly and listening to your own breathing or whatever it is that clears your mind. And you genuinely do get a bit of a rush if you do it for long enough.
I'd love to get Larry on the podcast, my brother, because he went on like a 4-day silent retreat recently, or maybe it was a week, and he said that was like insane.
That was like our mate as well,
Yeah.
the wakeboarding guy. That sounds like
Oh yeah,
hell,
yeah, he
though.
did. Yeah.
But it's
Sounds
like
like-
eight hours with your own thoughts.
Yeah.
With no
It
distractions.
sounds like hell, but Larry was like, the amount of clarity you have coming out of that is
I
insane.
can imagine, yeah.
And when my dad passed away, Larry went on like a weekend one, and he said like he had a whole conversation with my dad, because I don't know, like just being quiet for so long did something to him.
Start to hallucinate.
Started hallucinating.
I bet nowadays, because technology has messed our brains up so much to the point that we need constant
Stimulation.
dopamine and
Yeah.
stimulation, that even just not doing that and closing your eyes for a couple of hours would
weird.
be almost the same as like
Yeah.
doing shrooms or
Well,
something.
I've heard
You know,
that it's-
hence why he's talking.
Well, maybe
you
we
know?
just do an episode 1 hour of
Well,
silence, like no stimulation.
That would be a very
I've heard
boring episode.
So I want to try this. Is the kind of dopamine detox that we were talking about previously? Is you sit there for an entire day and you do absolutely nothing. People used to do this. So obviously, constant stimulation is quite a new thing. Nobody had access to as much stimulation as our generation has at any point in history. So the fact that we've got so much of it, it's almost like we're so attached to it that even sitting for not even a full day, like 4 hours, you start to get overwhelmed with anxiety after a certain point in time, because your body just can't cope without the release of chemicals.
I remember I said it on the last podcast with Johnny, like even just coming from work on the tube home, 30 minutes, try to do it without headphones, without reading a book, without looking at your phone. And even though you're surrounded by stimulation, right? There's adverts, there's people, there's conversations. Even that's tough. Just sitting, being in your own thoughts, like nothing to do. Even that is tough.
And you kind
And
of sit tweaking.
Mate,
Yeah.
I honestly find going to the bathroom tough nowadays or having a shower.
Do you
Without-
find yourself
I bring
in the
my
scroll when you go pee?
yeah.
That's
I
wild.
just have to one-hand it.
One-handed.
Yeah,
I
it requires two.
yeah, I get this
Just
as well.
kidding.
It feels horrible, doesn't it? It feels almost physically difficult to put your phone down.
Yeah, I remember catching myself a couple of years ago, doing that and wanting to take my phone into the shower and watching a video, and now it's been so normalized in my head in my day-to-day life that it's
How
just
the hell are you
total-
doing it in the shower?
Huh?
How?
Yeah.
Like just like a podcast or
You got
music
Oh.
or
You
even
got
like a
waterproof
YouTube
one?
video.
You haven't got one of those waterproof little cases.
Well,
you
they
can-
kind of are waterproof in a way, aren't they? I've had it like 4 years. It's never cut
it's
out of
working.
me.
If you're not in the
I've
actual
been in a
shower.
lot of
exploring,
showers.
like-
No, I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
touching it
That's how I saw it.
unless I want to skip video.
All right. We should talk about that though, because it's interesting. I think about this sometimes.
It's addiction, right?
Well, it's an addiction, yeah. And you think, what did you used to do before you had a phone? Because we're old enough to remember what it was like going to bed without a phone.
And it was great. I
Think.
reckon we slept better. You think?
We just thunk.
You talk to people?
We just
You
thunk.
just
Think.
thunk. You
We
thunk
just
that
thunk,
thunk,
that
girl.
thunk,
Read a
thunk,
book.
thunk.
Read a book. I used to sit and I used to draw all the time. You do
Have
other
you
things.
bleached your eyebrows?
Oh, it does actually look like it. I'll take
Yeah, what's going on there?
Deonford vibes.
What?
You guys seeing that?
Do you actually have
No,
eyebrows?
it's
Do you have
tan.
eyebrows?
It's tan.
Is it?
Or
Yeah,
fake tan?
my hair bleaches when I.
Oh, it's just gone a bit lighter.
Yeah.
You sure you're not going through a phase?
You look Harkonnen.
I wanted to talk about something serious. I wanted to talk about what you used to do.
Just talk and thunk.
What, when you were going to bed? Just talk and thunk?
I ain't got no right to thunk that hard. Yeah, you just thunk.
We should start talking and thinking more.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
Do you
because
miss
this is what we're doing.
we are. I don't think that good at getting real deep with it. This is probably the most that's ever happened, to be honest.
Or working down.
And I like it.
And I've always said, if this podcast doesn't go anywhere, right, just the fact that I've had conversations, it's an hour aside, once every week, once every 2 weeks, conversation with my friends.
Yeah.
And that's it. Because like you said, we don't really do that. You meet up in a group. I don't know. You'll have individual conversations. You'll get hammered, and next thing
You know what? What I've noticed is we all have partners.
Mhm.
I think most of our group now have partners. That we find out about our some of our closest. You guys are some of my closest friends. Some of your
clarify that,
struggles through the girls finding out
That's
about
wild.
it from each other
I know.
because that person has told the girlfriend, and that is basically the main way of how we think we find out about
Okay.
it. Which is, I don't know if that's normal.
When did you struggle? Has there been a point in your life when you struggled, and it's probably for you, Ben, because I think we already know Matt's, but you struggled and you wish you'd spoken to someone about it?
every day.
Yeah, but I mean, the way it works with me is that I'm also like you and like Matt, who we think that we could probably just get through it and deal with it.
Yeah.
I've never, to be honest, I've not had that many extremely like just bad things happen to me, or extremely sad things happen to me. I mean, like the last person that died that I knew in my life I was close to was my nana in 2012. So it's been a while. But I mean, I still I've got like a lack of purpose thing going on where I'm still trying to find my place in this world and in work. And I keep that bottled up, and then that basically just bottles and bottles and bottles until one night I basically I don't know, Emma asked me in just the right way, and I might like explode in a sort of rampage of tears. And I think that's probably the same with like a lot of us. I mean, we had a friend recently who can be anonymous, but exact same thing happened to him. And again, we found out basically through our girlfriends talking, and then we would reach out. So we never would reach out in the point where we're struggling. We'll reach out to the point where it's gotten so bad that we actually like almost have like a little mini breakdown to our girlfriends.
Or it just comes out in passing. I know there's the example of our mutual acquaintance, but then also I know for a fact that the people that I've spoken to who've been going through tough things, particularly men and almost unanimously men, they tend to be unable to say that they need help in a healthy way where they just ask for it. It tends to be, you have to ask them, or it comes out, it manifests in some way, like they're hurting themselves, or they're doing something stupid, or they're being really aggressive, or something like that. And then you kind of notice something in someone, and then you go, oh, that was slightly weird. And that's the only tell you get. You don't exactly. You don't get a kind of, oh yeah, I'm really upset about this thing. Yeah. And even when they do tell you, it's, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go and see a therapist tomorrow. I'm feeling really rubbish. And it's
like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Should we be worried about that?
You want to have a barbecue this Friday?
Yeah, I just don't. I think that as far as these conversations have gone, these mental health conversations have gone, I think there's definitely still a stigma around it. Like, if you, and this is the point of this podcast as well, is to destigmatize these issues. But it's like, if you say you struggle with mental health, like people often think perhaps there's something wrong with you, and they kind of treat you differently, and they see you as a victim or something.
I think they just don't know how to react
I know.
And deal with it, because we're so not used to it.
And I think there's a long way to go in terms of like teaching people how to like support their friends a lot more.
Yeah.
And, I think Dan Shrigley shout out to Dan, made a very good point. And he was like, you can't keep telling people to talk more. Like, that doesn't help. Like, there has to be in a conducive environment for people to talk in, right? Just saying talk more won't help.
Yeah. Well, it's just a systematic issue, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
I think it's also generational, and I think it is getting better.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
100%. Like, our parents...
It's
complete like iron steel cage of emotions would never you know, your kids are to be seen but not heard. Not my parents. My parents were great if they're going to watch. But definitely would not talk about their feelings, especially not to their kids.
No.
And then we're not great, but getting better.
Getting better, yeah.
We're actually making like a real effort.
Yeah.
And then I see like my girlfriend's brother calls Emma all the time asking for emotional support about stuff. And the same with his parents, and he's just super open, and he's like 20 years old now.
And
So I
super
can-
successful, right? Or is that the other one?
No, that's the other one. I mean, he's quite successful. He's really good looking.
Well, I think everybody has this kind of underlying personality, don't they? And we talked about it a little bit in the last episode, and it's that kind of, you are who you are on the surface, and then behind closed doors you're somebody else. You kind of, you think things, you feel things, you want things that you don't ever display. It's the kind of voice that you hear in the back of your head, and I think the two will kind of diverge, and you'll be super successful on one side, and on the other side, because you're repressing it so hard, you go really far the other way. And I think that the thing that we struggle with definitely as a society is kind of melding or finding the bridge between those two zones, where you can kind of talk about the things that, you know, that are not happening on this side, but are happening in the dark parts of your mind, and the things that you're worried about, and the things that you're upset about, and the things that you don't want to talk about with anybody. I mean, we saw it earlier. You did it. You went, you know, oh, I've been through this, I've been through that, but I don't want to talk about it. And it's like, why? Because
I can't talk about it because of the viewership. I would talk. I mean, as soon as this is off, I'll tell you. But.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the kind of, I guess, just continuing with the example, regardless, it's this sort of, I'm fine to talk about it at a surface level, but as soon as I have to start connecting with that experience and how it felt, I don't want to touch it anymore.
You've actually gotten off pretty lightly.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that's why you picked the host position?
I think so. I'm going to throw it back. What was the point? I'll ask your question back to you. The point where you were so, I don't know, some pit you were in that you wished you'd opened up to us about.
It wouldn't have been to you, Guy. I don't think it would have.
Gee, thanks.
Maybe.
Well,
No,
fine.
not because I wouldn't have spoken to you, because of the timing. I mean, there's been a couple of bad periods in my life. So I had a cousin kill herself, which was pretty rough.
Yeah.
So that was literally an out of nowhere situation. And I don't remember talking about that with anybody.
I don't know why this makes a difference, but older cousin or younger cousin?
Slightly older. But what was weird was having Christmas with her, and then 3 months later, and she seems fine, and 3 months later, gone.
Yeah.
And then I also I've had a couple of periods in my life where that wasn't, it seems mean to say, it wasn't quite as intense within my life because she wasn't there all the time anyway. But when I was much younger, I had a friend that died of cancer, and that was a lot worse. So that's the kind of, you know, the kind of friend that it's you and them.
That was like your best friend, wasn't it?
Best
back
friend.
then?
Yeah.
You're
And
obviously much younger, but how do you deal with that?
I think I probably dealt with it as well as a 17, 18-year-old probably could.
Have you dealt with it?
Well, this is the thing. I think I definitely learned a lot from it. And I think I had that moment that you probably had when your dad died around that time. Because it wasn't just seeing someone that had lived out their entire lives dying. It was someone who, you know, I'm now double his age when he died. and I watched him for about 3 years going in and out of hospital. And I watched as he kind of, you know, loads of people gave him loads of attention, and then I kind of got pushed away. So my own best friend was kind of, I lost my friend multiple times. And then, and a lot of that was my fault. And I think I always look back on that and think how much I regret not making more time to hang out with him. But I think at the same time, I shouldn't be too hard on myself, because I was, well, it started out when I was about 14 or 15. So, you know, it was a tough time though.
Sounds like it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fully your responsibility for that anyway.
Well, I think it wasn't, but at the same time, I always think that I could have done more, and you always play out the scenario in your head that you think you could have achieved. So it's exactly the same with my cousin as well. It's like, I didn't speak to her, 364 days out of the year, but for some reason I was like, well, maybe if I'd spoken to her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a licensed therapist, but any therapist would tell you that, you did what you didn't know, right? You did what you could at the time, knowing what you knew. Like with my dad, the same thing. I, to this day, regret not spending more time with him in those few years that we had together, right? But, you did as much as you could at the time. And obviously you were very young. You were 14, like you had your own other... Maybe you didn't have a proper grasp of what he was going through, right? The severity of what he was going through.
Well, 100%.
Yeah, like if this was now, I'm sure you'd be a lot more conscious and intentional with what you did. But you're a 14-year-old kid. You've got so many other priorities.
But this is the thing, would you? Because if you look at your life now, how different is it from back then? Like, and this is the thing, is you think about it in terms of, if I was a perfect person, I had all the time in the world, then I would do all of these things for that one person. I would take all of my time, all of my energy, and put it into that one person. And on a conscious level, that's not even healthy, let alone realistic.
Yeah.
But, on the other side of that, the underlying self, or the underlying feelings that you have are, I could have done more, or I would have done more.
I think that's a given on every single one of those sorts of situations, no matter what. I mean, you could probably be hanging around with them 24/7. You'll still think about, I should have made them that last cup of tea. I should have hung out with them more. So I wouldn't beat yourself up, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you.
But I don't beat myself up, because it's been years. It's been years and years. And
yeah, but it sounds to me that you kind of
it.
still have that doubt.
You're just sad about it, maybe.
No, I don't. And I'm genuinely okay with it now. I mean, I talk about it from time to time. Sometimes you see a Facebook post or whatever, showing my age, where it comes up. But it's not the kind of thing that bothers me. And I like talking about it because it helps other people.
I mean, this is not related to that really, but like my mom went to a childhood friend's funeral recently, and it was one of her best friends died in a freak accident. But basically, it was a reunion with all their basically their school friends, right, at the funeral. And she said one of the things that hit her the most was seeing how people have visibly aged. And I feel like people don't talk about that a lot. And I'd love to talk about that on perhaps another podcast. But like, obviously, there's dealing with yourself growing up, but like dealing with
seeing your parents,
seeing your friends even. Like my mom was like seeing all her childhood friends, and they all like, some of them had mobility problems, some of them had long-term sicknesses, obviously visibly like different to when they were when she last saw them. But it's like, if I picture like us meeting up in, I don't know, 50 years time, all got gray hair, perhaps one of us is in a wheelchair, I don't know, like someone's had some sort of chronic illness. Like that must be so tough to see, because it also makes you think
just
about
your on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like shit, I'm getting that old. I am that old. You know what I mean? Like, because like I don't know about you guys, but I don't feel 34.
No.
I still feel 21. But then as soon as you guys start having issues, or like my friend group start having issues, yeah, you 100% see it in yourself now. You're like, damn, we actually are getting old.
Oh, I think it's a whole topic in itself. Is
That's
when you actually feel like an adult to begin with.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's ever a set point. Maybe when you have kids, maybe if you go to war. I don't really know. I think I always ask my dad, and he always says, I still feel 22. I still feel 24. And you kind of just stay the same age in your head.
I've heard a lot of the time it's when a parent dies.
Yeah.
Did you feel that?
Feel old.
Feel like you were like full-blown adult?
I wouldn't say that was one of the things I felt necessarily. I mean, no.
Okay.
Because what happens if your dad dies when you're like 12?
Yeah, you just like start.
Oh shit! Yeah.
I gotta pay the bills.
I gotta work, man.
Just like straight out the door with the briefcase.
Briefcase, yeah.
No, but it's hard, right? I mean, even now talking about stuff like that, it's really serious stuff.
Yeah.
And your grief, so much grief always comes from other people as well, right? And it's watching other people and how you feel about other people's suffering. But then they're also suffering, and you then feel guilty because you feel like you're suffering because they're suffering, and then it
That's
just
being
goes
an
round and around.
empath, isn't it?
Well, I think it's the opposite. I think it's you feel like you are hard done by because somebody else is hard done by.
Mm.
It's not you're feeling what they're feeling. It's not you're kind of, and maybe you do. You feel upset because they're upset, but you're allowed to have your own trauma, even though the trauma's happening to someone else.
Should we stay true to I know we only got a few minutes left, but should we stay true to the format and do a completely random quickfire? Each of us has one question to
the person that on their left,
I guess, yeah,
or their right,
whatever. Because we can't do it to both, because then you got time
so
to.
Spider-Man, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless we do one person has two questions,
Oh, okay.
completely randomized. Who you asked this to though?
I
Who's
don't know.
first?
You came up with this. You got to start.
Well,
Yeah,
you got
this
two
is
questions.
really
I
hard.
got to start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Biggest regret you have, Robert? Quick.
Yeah, it's got to be quick.
This is such a big question to ask for such a quick answer.
Can I answer that? I've
Yeah,
got
go.
one.
You go.
Not doing your best man speech.
Yeah, we know that one.
That's one of my
Yeah, we
biggest
know that one.
regrets. I
We know that one.
really regret that. I was nervous public speaker, so big
And yet he's on a
regrets.
podcast.
It's different.
It took him a long time to get here.
It's
That's
before.
true.
He's made
It took
personal
a long.
growth.
It took a long time to get the invite.
I don't think so. What?
Biggest regret?
Oh, biggest regret.
Same question.
Not thanking my mum enough at my wedding for raising me.
Well,
That's my biggest
you
regret.
can do it now if you want.
Yep. Thank you,
Yeah,
Mum.
do it. Look how great he's turned out.
Yeah.
You did a great job.
He's a content creator.
Do we get to ask you now?
I mean, anyone. Like it's,
You go.
Well, my regret.
Yeah, what's your biggest regret?
Yeah, not spending enough time with my dad.
Okay. Who are you?
I've got a clap. Yeah.
Who are you?
Me.
May.
Who are you?
Bane.
Buying thank a lot.
Bane, try to think
Buying
sometime.
thank.
I don't think we've got time to get into that.
No.
If you were in the street and you turned the corner and you bumped into your 8-year-old self looking up at you,
Oh.
do you think they would be proud of you?
Yes.
Mine would be like, holy crap.
Exactly.
Oh.
Isn't that nice to think about?
Mine would be like.
Mine would be
yeah.
proud for sure. Great girlfriend,
Yeah.
great job,
Aw.
great
No.
family. You know.
It's a matter of opinion, I guess.
Should we? How are we doing the wrap up?
Do I wrap it up?
Yeah.
How do
I could
wrap
wrap.
it up?
I could wrap it up.
No,
Thanks, guys. This is great. You wrap up.
If you've made it this far, thank you so much. I know we got quite heavy this episode.
Too bad.
But I hope you
Fine.
appreciate it. This episode is sponsored by mythosarcade.com. It is my current third space, and I'm really loving making it. If you
This
are
is
looking
current
at creating
ADHD venture.
video games with Claude, which you can do now on the higher end models, then please look at mythosarcade.com and you can upload your games there. There's already multiple creators on there, and yeah, lots of games as well. So please come and check it out. Thank you so much.
That's why you came on the podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, that's literally the only reason. He knows what he's doing. He
You've
knows
been
what he's
biting
I
it
know
doing.
the
what
whole
I'm
time.
doing. That's
Son of a
mythosarcade.com.
That's MYTH.
Are you going to be paying Matteo for
Yeah,
the
I got
for the
kicked
plug?
back. Yeah.
I would say I bought the Guinnesses, but I didn't.
The what? You can't say. We
Oh
can't say
shit!
He won't
that.
make a drink, he won't make a
The
drink.
It's apple juice.
apple, the black apple juice with a head
Black
on it.
apple juice. It's black apple juice. Oh, don't worry.
No, you can't do that.
I know, I
That's
didn't-
even worse.
No, cut
Alas.
that.
Cut that.